Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back for another Wind Down Wednesday.
How are you?
We said this in our last couple of videos. Summertime is just not really good for Wind Down Wednesday videos.
No.
We had just so much other stuff going on, and it's so hot outside that I know we're doing our videos inside right now, but
In Florida, it's extremely hot.
But we are about to get back into our school routine because tomorrow is the first day of school. So looking forward to that. Got to meet all my kiddos yesterday at Meet the Teacher.
Did you like them?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, they all seem to be like pretty excited. Even the ones that aren't so great at math. They when I explained, I was like, well, 6th grade math is really kind of a review of a lot that you've already learned before. So if there was something before that you didn't understand, then we're going to catch it this year.
Any kids seem decent?
Well, of course they do because they're in front of their parents, so they're like on their best behavior.
Right, so not being little jerks.
Well, we'll see. I'm starting the school year off with a positive outlook.
Yeah. I remember bringing my kids around to the Meet the Teacher.
Yeah.
I would bring them around and I would talk to the teachers. I would talk their ears off to be like, now wait a minute.
I know some of the parents that came through were just like full of lots of questions. I was like, well, my Canvas course will be available soon, and you'll find answers to all of those questions on there. But tonight is just meant to be like a just quick pop in and say hi.
Okay, well.
So tonight we are going to be sharing with you guys a couple of wines that were in our special birthday set because Scout and Cellar turns 6 years old this month. So all month long we kind of have some special things going on. So the first thing I want to say is right off the bat, right now through Friday, August 11th, the entire site is 15% off with the exception of our newest wine, Sun, Wind, and Soul. The discount does not apply to that, but
I just bought some of that.
15% off site-wide. There are several Scout and Cellar Wine Club wines that have been specially unlocked very temporarily, so you can have access to that, and those are all 15% off. And so these two wines that we have here were part of the special birthday set that you could only get, I believe, if you were part of the Scout Circle Club, but they are currently unlocked for everybody. So we are starting with the Pip the Greeter 2021 Pinot Gris, which I think we've shared this before. It's a Scout Circle unlocked, and that may be how we got it before because I was not a member of the wine club before, but now I am, and I get the perks of all of these special wines that are not available on the regular site, and I get 5% off of any other wines that I order with my wine club membership.
Smooth.
So this one is interesting, and we shared this before the last time we made a video about this. I can't remember if it's the same vintage or not, but this is a Pinot Gris, which is typically a white wine, but this has a little bit of like an orange, almost like a rust tint to it.
Amber.
They say pink. When they describe this wine.
Amber.
It's definitely a little bit more like orange than pink is how I would describe it. But I remember the last time we had this, that this was, I really liked this one.
Did you?
Yeah, so what are you getting right off the bat?
I'm getting creamy.
Really?
I'm getting
Pinot Gris is typically like fruity and crisp.
I'm getting like a creamier flavor. The smell is a little bit more, drier.
Yeah.
But it's really good with that Asian zing sauce.
Oh, I'm not sure what I'm getting. Almost like
Getting creamy?
No, not necessarily creamy. I'm getting a little bit of like almost like melon kind of flavor to it.
Sorry.
So this wine is from California. I'm not sure. It just says California. It doesn't say what region. Healdsburg, California. I think that's what it says. It is normally $26 a bottle, but with the 15% automatic discount, no code needed, it is currently right now through, again, Friday, August 11th, $22.10. So this is a really great deal. It is normally a Scout Circle Wine Club exclusive, but it is available right now as a Scout Circle unlocked wine. Now, they're describing this as earthy and crisp, so maybe when you're saying creamy, it's because you're getting some of the earthy
I don't know how to describe this. I really don't know how to describe it. It's like a Pinot Gris is usually a very light and bouncy wine. This is not light and bouncy. This is heavier. It's good, but it's not. Normally, they would be like lighter and bouncier.
But I do get crisp.
Let me try some chicken.
Well, A little bit of like roasted chicken, nothing fancy on there.
I'm getting richer and creamier.
So yeah, there's like it's a Pinot Gris and it's pink. That's pretty like unusual, and it is 100% Pinot Gris. It's not a blend with anything else. It means that it's more of a pale copper hue, they say, which means this wine saw some time on the grape skins to extract a little color and a lot of flavor. It says, enjoy notes of crisp apples and honeysuckle with beautiful floral aromas.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, honeysuckles and a little bit of like floral. I'm going to see after having the chicken. Definitely goes well with the poultry. Mm-hmm. I could see it with a couple of different kinds of.
It's not a light wine.
It's because the earthy undertones gives it.
It's not light.
Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say that it's like heavy. It still feels kind of light.
Yeah, but it's not. It's definitely one of your heavier whites.
Okay. I also have some apple chips on here, so that with the notes of apple, I figured that might go well. So the soil to sip report, full disclosure, no secrets, exactly how the wine was made, nothing else put in there. It says the grapes were sourced from 12-year-old vines, and then they were harvested and went directly to press. The juice was fermented in closed-top stainless steel tanks for 20 days with no malolactic fermentation, allowing the natural crisp notes of Pinot Gris to shine.
Pinot Gris.
Yes.
Pinot Gris.
After fermentation was completed, it aged further in stainless steel tanks for 4 months.
You have to say it right. Pinot Gris.
Pinot Gris. Yes.
Gris. And get that out of the back of your throat like you got a post-nasal trip. Pinot Gris.
So, the tasting notes for this wine are described as some red apple, pears, and white flowers. So, I mean, could kind of go. I'm thinking seasonal.
It doesn't have bite to it.
No.
It doesn't have any bite.
But as we start to get into the fall, a lot of the northern states have the apple orchards, right, that are ready to harvest.
I think if it was a little colder, it'd be better.
I think so too. I definitely didn't chill it long enough for today. I would probably like this a little bit cooler, but when it is closer to room temperature, I think you do get more of the flavor notes.
Putting ice in wine, by the way, is tacky.
Well, sometimes I have to do that when we don't have time to chill it.
I mean, if we're doing a video, we would never do that. See, we're not going to lower ourselves to that.
No.
But, but the problem with ice is ice waters it down. Waters down the flavor.
Did you try the apple chips with it yet?
Yeah.
I think it kind of, it brings out a little bit more of that crispiness.
I'm not a gigantic fan.
Of this Pinot Gris,
no,
really?
No, I'm not. It's okay.
I love it.
I mean, I don't know if I'd even finish the bottle. It's like one of those things where...
More for me. It says it pairs well with brunch, so different types of breakfast foods, pastas, and with poultry. So any of your favorite like chicken dishes, this definitely would go well. I do have some sautéed vegetables. You can have that with this wine, and it also goes with the Pinot Noir.
Well, this would go with the Pinot Gris.
Yes, and that's why I got them. It doesn't specifically say like seafood or shellfish or anything like that, but yeah, I can. It's got like veggies, and I can have that kind of.
If you eat spicy sauce, it kickstarts your metabolism.
I'm going to go for it with a little bit of the other sauce. So the ingredients of this wine are grapes, tartaric acid, yeast, and sulfites, and that's it. That's all they put into this wine for the entire process. Grapes are like hand harvested. So you don't get any of the other. They use special growing practices so they don't have to use pesticides. Lots of really great information for why all of the clean crafted wines are just so good. So this is 13.9% alcohol. It has 0.89 grams per liter of residual sugar. And the total sulfite level is 75 parts per milliliter. Again, you'll find most of the clean crafted wines are 100 or less. So, like if you find that you have difficulty drinking wine because you tend to get headaches, it's probably because of higher sulfite levels. So, because these wines have lower sulfite levels, then you might not have an issue with that. If you were to, so that's another great reason to give these a try.
Probably not, because we've done it enough. Trust me.
So this is 112 calories per 5-ounce serving. 0.132 grams of carbs per 5-ounce serving, and no fat. So again, more reason, lower in calories and carbs than most of your store-bought wines. So if you're trying to be a little bit more conscious about what you're eating, the same should apply to what you are drinking as well. You can still enjoy a great glass of wine with lots of flavor. I am. With lots of flavor and not have to be too worried about
and these are very low calorie.
Your waistline, I know.
Very low calorie.
Lots of yummy vegetables. So, so they already explained about like the copper than pink hue in this wine. Mm-hmm. So, what are you thinking with the little, what do they call it? A California roll is what they call it.
Well, it's a lettuce roll.
Well, it's got like the rice wrap thing around it. And I think it's a little chunk of crab in it.
But it's mostly vegetable.
Yes.
I mean, if you
had a bit of avocado.
Right. If you had 2 of these for dinner, there's probably 0 carbs in this, honestly.
No, there are for some of the vegetables. Have carbs in them.
Good carbs, though.
But the 2 combined together, I mean, there's like 110 calories for both of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. So they're pretty low in calories.
And Sophie so desperately wants it.
I know she does. Have you been giving her crackers?
Yes. No, you can't have that.
She just wants to be a part.
She does. So, I started planting from seed yellow pear tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, Chinese cabbage, broccoli, spinach. Spinach is very hard to grow in the summer in Florida. Very hard to grow. The seeds don't germinate. But I have lots of babies. Green beans. I have tons of green beans.
You know what you should do? Just experiment and see if you take the seeds and
put them inside.
But put them in like damp paper towels, and let them sit like in a plastic baggie with the damp paper towels and see if they start to germinate just from the moisture, and then put them into the soil.
I could do that.
And see if it makes a difference. Little side note. I love these California, even though this doesn't say that it pairs well with seafood or shellfish. I love the combination of that with this wine.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just nice, light and crisp. Nothing's competing. The flavors aren't competing with each other. It just goes nice.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast time goes by. I think we did a video last August. I was trying to think, did we do this wine last August?
I think I remember doing this when we were at your house, so it was probably around the winter time.
Really?
That we did this, yeah.
If you go back through the annals of our videos, the libraries of our videos, you could probably, in August, we did something. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to look at it right now, but I could have swore it was this one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so things are busy. She's working, I'm working my butt off with 2 different businesses. So I don't even know which way is up right now. I'm like tired, exhausted, trying to get a workout in every day, trying to eat right. What are you gonna do? You know.
And I'm getting back into the swing of things with school. We have a new team member this year. It's her first year teaching, and she's been really great to work with so far. She's very eager and wants to and she's like a little sponge, like soaking up stuff and offering like kind of new insight and new ideas for things that we haven't done before.
So she's like young enough to be your daughter?
She is. Which is crazy. But you know what? If you go back and think about, I've been teaching for 23 years, and I originally started in 4th grade. So all of those kids, they were 10 years old 23 years ago.
Yeah.
My first class of kids are now 33 years old. So they would be married with children right now. Right. So, yes.
Yikes.
So this new team member, our new coworker, yes, she actually just turned 21. And so I definitely could be her mother.
Oh my God. I have a 32-year-old son. And that's odd. Mm-hmm. Because I'm only 46. But, I mean, it's 46-year-old blues, you know? Mm-hmm. 44, I'm 44.
You were just eager and
I started
spry.
young.
Uh-huh.
I did. I started when I was in high school.
Yeah.
You know. No, just kidding. But it's possible, though. I know people. Mm-hmm. My first was born, when Nate was born, I was like 19, 20? I was 20.
When he was born.
I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else to share about this wine? It definitely is different. I don't know what else I could compare it to. It is not your typical Pinot Gris.
It is not your typical, honestly.
But I still think it's very tasty. And those earthy notes, I think any kind of chicken dish and sauteed vegetables, and I think that would just blend perfectly.
Here's my last statement on this particular wine. This would go great with chicken piccata.
Really, you think?
And you eat a little bit to cook with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you put it in there with the butter. This would be perfect. And then to drink the rest of the bottle while you have the chicken piccata.
What about the capers, though? How do you think that would play into this?
Well, you have to use some kind of white wine when you're making chicken piccata
Yeah.
sauce. Use butter and capers and wine.
Yeah.
And no garlic. You know that, right? There's no garlic.
Yeah.
And then you, but this would be, honestly, this would be a great wine to splash in there. You know, you don't want to buy the cheap. You can buy the cheap
I mean,
stuff.
now that I taste it again and I kind of think about it a little bit more, I probably would the capers probably wouldn't mess with the taste.
Capers would offset. This would offset the capers. Capers, you know, the capers are very bitter.
Yeah.
This would offset the capers.
The earthiness from this wine,
Yes.
I think, would be okay.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the.
So now we have, this is the special birthday vintage of the Fieldhouse 301
We'll explain to them what the birthday
Pinot
means.
Noir. So, like I said, Scout and Cellar is, here, would you like me to move my glass
Yes,
closer?
you moved it away from me because you're not.
I was just sitting over here so I have more room.
You're being a jinger.
So this is a vintage they released specially for Scout and Cellar's birthday, and actually Fieldhouse was the flagship wine that they launched Scout and Cellar with 6 years ago.
Really?
So this is a special vintage released just for the birthday. We lots of different Fieldhouse wines. We've had Pinot Noirs before, but this one is special for the birthday. Originally, it was only available in the Scout Circle exclusive wine club.
The birthday.
But for at least right now, it is temporarily available to everyone if you would like to grab a bottle of this, and you get 15% off.
The first week of September, Sun Creek is celebrating their 5th birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The first week of September.
Oh, I wonder what they're going to do to celebrate their
Do a
birthday.
big extravaganza.
Huh.
We have to go.
Okay, I'm down. That's
Now,
fine
you
with
weren't
me.
with me when they first opened, were you?
I think I've been there like from the beginning. We started
Did we
going
go there at the very beginning?
Yeah. Like when they first opened.
But then we went to CBC. We didn't really like CBC.
Yeah. Well, now they've opened up a lot of other places around in downtown Claremont that we try out every now and then, but
It's funny because
Sun Creek is our standard.
you have there's a sect of people that go to CBC and there's a sect of people that go to Sun Creek. They do not intermingle. You like it, don't you?
It has a really nice, and it's your traditional like lighter red Pinot Noir.
Not like the Pinot Noir we had the other night.
No, that was a little bit
A
darker.
little bit darker.
That was the Conte La Terre.
Right, and Conte La Terre is the.
Now, it's funny because you go through different vintages. Pinot Noir was always typically my favorite red. I've grown to love some of the bolder wines and the blends and things like that, but I always loved a good Pinot Noir. There have been several Pinot Noirs that have gone through the different vintages through Scout and Cellar. I remember initially...
You didn't like it.
The first wine that turned me on to Scout and Cellar was a Pinot Noir, but it was at Nico. And at Nico, now in 6 years, has not released another Pinot Noir. That can happen sometimes because these smaller boutique vineyards, it takes a while for them to regrow enough of that grape in order to produce that type of wine. They do sometimes grow other grapes in the meantime while they're waiting for that particular kind of grape to grow.
Right.
But that was, I had that wine and I was like, holy cow, this is so good. I've never had anything like this before.
You had it when you have New
I've had like the initial Middle Jane Pinot Noir. I absolutely loved that one. I can't remember what vintage year that was. I think it was like 2018. But then the next vintage that came out after it, didn't like it at all. It was like peppery, and it was like different notes
the
to
Middle
it.
Jane,
I loved
right.
the first
it was
Middle
too
Jane,
peppery.
but the next vintage, and again, that's something that you will find because every vintage from vintage, sometimes you end up with different growing circumstances, and that affects the taste of the grape. Lots of different reasons: the amount of sunshine, the temperature, the amount of water and rain. that it gets all of those things influence the taste of the grapes from vintage to vintage. So that's something you just have to keep in mind. If you ever, if you had like a particular label that you liked and you loved that type of wine, just understand that the next vintage may not taste exactly the same. And that's one of the things about the store-bought wines is that they add a lot of really yucky stuff to the wines to keep it tasting consistent vintage after vintage.
Right.
And if you really knew what was in those wines, you probably would not buy them anymore.
So if you bought, again, I'm going to segue to that. If you were, that's why each vintage is a new adventure. It's a new journey. But if you were to segue to what she was just saying, the store-bought wines or the mainstream wines, you know, you probably you have your love of certain wines that you enjoy now, but again, in order to maintain that specific flavor year after year after year, they have to add things to that, and those things aren't so good for you, and they're not really nice things either. So when you look at what they're doing here from 2020 to 2021, 2022, each vintage has a totally different taste. Some of them taste similar, but most of them are different. This Pinot Noir is definitely different. What year is this?
2022.
It's 2022. Okay, this is totally different than last year's. Totally different.
I love this one. This is right up my kind of Pinot Noir.
It's peppery.
I'm not getting peppery.
I get a little peppery. A little pepper. You don't like the pepper?
I'm not a fan of peppery wines. Oh, I was just noticing. After I took a sip, you can see what do they call like the fingers of the wine like dripping down the inside of the glass.
Good. You are just astute tonight.
I'm very observant tonight. Okay, so again, this is a Scout Circle exclusive that has been unlocked temporarily as part of the birthday celebration. So I would highly recommend that you add this to your cart soon.
Yes.
This is normally $28 a bottle, and because of the automatic 15% off discount through Friday, August 11th, I'm going to quiz you on this to see if you're actually paying attention. It is now $23.80. And this is another California wine from Napa, California. So this is not 100% Pinot Noir. It's 93.8% Pinot Noir and 6.2% Syrah. Now you'll notice, so we talked about how the normal store-bought wines, they add fillers and additives and things like that to the wine to make it taste a certain way. With a lot of the clean crafted wines, you'll find that they do these subtle blends to achieve a particular taste. That's how they play with the taste a little bit without adding a lot of unnecessary yucky stuff.
Yeah, Scout and Cellar does a lot of blends. There's a lot of blends.
As you can see, it's mostly a Pinot Noir. So this is described as fruity and light with notes of cherry, tart strawberry, plum, and great minerality. And that's one of my favorite things about a lot of the white wines that we have, especially the Fieldhouse 301 white wine blend. That was always my absolute favorite white wine.
You love that one, didn't you?
I do love that one. They have a new vintage out too. I just noticed. They ran out of the last one and they just released a new vintage.
You love the 2020. The 2020 you loved.
Well, so we'll have to order the new vintage and do a little taste test comparison. But I always love that one because it had a hint of minerality to it. Or sometimes they say river rock. Either way that they describe it, it just oh my gosh. it adds this kind of layer to the wine that just makes it really kind of like fresh and crisp.
I'm curious as to whether they have multiple vintages of the same wine on the website.
Some of them, yes, I believe they do. Are
you can
still
go 2020, 21, 22.
Yes.
That would be cool.
And we've done that before, where we've had a couple of the same wine, and we compared the two vintages side by side.
Look at that, some guacamole.
A lot of them were very similar.
A little guacamole.
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Guacamole. So it says, so I have a little bit of dried cherries here that I thought would go well with this wine. And a little bit of token chocolate there if you would like to have some of that. This release is the wine for the ultimate Pinot Noir fan. I definitely would agree with that statement. The aromatics fly out of the glass, dominated by juicy red fruits that invite you to cherry, strawberry. No, this is new. And cherry, strawberry, and more. The texture is round and soft and incredibly easy drinking. Pairs well with grilled salmon. I could see that.
I would have to say this is probably one of the better Pinot Noirs I've ever had.
I don't
Honestly.
get peppery at all with this. So
I like it.
pairs well with grilled salmon, roasted vegetables, and mushroom dishes. So I have some sauteed. I didn't roast because it's too hot to turn the oven on.
I got my condimentaire today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
When
a
I had
good
that
one.
with steak.
But I have some sauteed zucchini, squash, tomatoes, and baby bell mushrooms in there with a little bit of Tuscan olive oil.
I use my fingers because I'm Italian.
I know I'm using the fork, but that's fine. So this wine
I'll feed her later.
was the soil to sip report. Again, how we got from the grapes in the vineyard into this bottle. It says the grapes were sourced from soils that meet the clean crafted commitment, picked from vines that are 30 to 40 years old. Harvest occurred at night with the utmost care given to the highest quality clusters selected. Each varietal was processed and fermented separately in stainless steel tanks for 21 days before aging in steel for approximately 6 months prior to blending and bottling under a sustainable cork.
I mean,
really, you talk about the care and the effort that goes into producing the wine that goes into these bottles, and honestly, that's why it tastes so good.
I wonder if we went to Napa, would Fieldhouse have a tour?
That's a good question. I don't know. Look, there's a QR code on the back of this bottle. I wonder, I'll try that later. I'll scan it with my phone and see what it says.
But I wonder, though, that winery,
If you could go.
you drove by
Right,
and said, hey, can we take a tour? You know?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Okay, so again, the flavor notes in this wine are cherry, strawberry, and plum. So a lot of kind of
Such
good,
a plum.
I mean, some good fruits that you could definitely find this time of year.
Yeah.
And again, the pairing notes are grilled salmon, roasted vegetables, and mushroom pasta. I am currently on a modified diet plan, and I am not eating carbs. So
I can make you a creamy mushroom pasta sauce.
Oh my gosh, that would be delicious.
Cheesy.
And maybe we'll just do our zoodles, or zucchini noodles instead of pasta.
You're like my homemade.
Or our spaghetti squash. We've been dabbling in that. I'm dragging him along the journey on this special diet with me. So he's eating some lean meats and lots of vegetables.
Yes. But tonight I'm snacking a little bit.
Yes, we are kind of veering a little bit off the diet tonight.
I've decided a little bit, you know.
So the ingredients in this wine are grapes, tartaric acid, yeast, malolactobacteria, and sulfites. And that's it. That's all it takes to make this delicious wine. Lots of flavor.
You remember?
I know. It's not September yet.
It's almost September.
But we are at the beginning of August, so...
It's going to be here in the blink of an eye.
I know. I always play this song at the beginning of September for my students, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Well, the younger and younger they get, they don't know. They just don't know what it is.
Maybe their parents listen to it. I don't know.
Well, their parents are probably younger than you.
No, if their parents are really cool, they listen to this kind of music.
Right. You have to be like us. We're cool.
So this is 12.5% alcohol, slightly less than the Pinot Gris that we started with.
Well, I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah, I figured you would probably like this one. And this actually has less, is it less residual sugar? 0.23 grams per liter of residual sugar. And only 45 the sulfite levels parts per milliliter in this wine. So that was lower than the Pinot Gris as well.
Yeah.
I think you typically find reds have less sulfites than the whites.
This is my favorite Pinot Noir.
Really?
It's my favorite Pinot
Well, we're
Noir.
going to definitely have to get some more bottles ordered
while it's still available. I mean, like if you're a wine purist, okay, let's go back to the purist mentality. A Pinot Noir is supposed to be a lighter, bouncier red, right? Mm. That's the description of it.
I love a good Pinot Noir.
The Condilataire is heavier. It's a heavier Pinot Noir, right? Which we love. Yeah. We eat it with steak. You know, we have steak.
And there's been vintages of that too that have been a little bit more like peppery and like there was like notes of cranberry. It was meant to be more of like it was like a Thanksgiving wine.
Was it?
And it was okay, but it definitely was not my favorite. I love this one much better.
But I mean, this is the type of Pinot Noir you could do with steak. You could do it with pork too. You want to do it with pork? Yeah. It'd be great with pork. You'd like to prefer a white with chicken, but and white meat and fish. Mm-hmm. But almost honestly, that's light enough. But
like I said, a grilled salmon.
Salmon.
Like a pinker, like heartier, steaky fish.
Right, or you could do like when we do the Chilean sea bass. Yeah. It'd be great with that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that great
Wonderful.
fish?
Yeah.
Isn't that delicious?
He's really turned me on. I never used to eat fish before. I didn't really.
It's so white
I
and
didn't
flaky.
like all the fishy flavors, and now as I've gotten older, and maybe my taste buds have gotten like muted, but
I'm a
really
pretty good chef.
and the way that you cook it, right?
I'm a pretty good
It's
chef.
much better, yeah.
She landed a big fish.
I did.
My hyperbole for the night. No, or a euphemism. Is that a euphemism?
I have to ask Adriana. She's a language arts teacher.
A synonym, euphemism.
So this is 100 calories per 5-ounce serving. It is 0.034 grams of carbs per 5-ounce serving, and again, 0 fat. Most of these wines are going to be like 0 fat.
Or a tortured metaphor.
Maybe that too. But I mean, I'm digging this wine. I think there was something else that I wanted to look at about. Okay, so did you? It's kind of funny that we did these two wines together in the same video tonight. Did you know a little fun fact? A little like you're at a dinner party or whatever. You could share this with people and impress them. Pinot Noir is related to Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio and Pinot Blanc. It says Pinot Noir, meaning black pine, is the base genetic variety for the mutations of Gris, Grigio, and Blanc. So they're all related, which I find very interesting because you go from typically a lighter, crisper wine to a lighter red wine, but it's interesting how they're all related to each other and how you can get such variety.
I will tell you this. That Pinot Gris.
You didn't like that?
No.
I'm going to say I would probably give it a 7.5 or an 8. It's not your typical Pinot Gris, but
I think if it was colder. Now I've never
we should try that.
I've never been one to like really, really chilled wines, but I think maybe another 10 degrees colder, I probably would like it a lot more.
Yeah.
The Pinot Noir is, I think, the best I've ever had. This is one of the best I've ever had, honestly, and I've had a lot. And this particular vintage.
Well, and we throw out names of other wines that are within the Scout and Circle family, and you have like the Conte La Terre, the Sole Ventimille, you have the Middle Jane. Those are all kind of like the little bit higher tier wines that are more expensive.
Yeah.
This the Fieldhouse is more like mid-range, like we said when we explained what the price.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I would say that this is better than any of the current vintages that are out in those more expensive wines.
You know, not to change the subject, but I've watched other wine tasting videos.
Yeah.
And the people talk about how they have to whiten their teeth because their teeth are red when they're smiling.
When they drink the red wines.
When they're drinking red wines, and they.
It's typically not as bad when you drink the lighter reds like a Pinot Noir.
Well, some of the video producers, what they do is they will actually cut the video and they'll whiten their teeth with a teeth whitener.
Seriously?
In between tastings, yes, because they smile big and the teeth are white, and the guy and the girl are sitting there. We're purists. We are purists. We love wine.
Listen, this is going to be the same as when you're drinking this wine. So
if your
teeth turn a little bit red or pink or whatever because you're drinking some red wine, who cares? Everybody knows you're drinking wine. That's why your teeth look funny.
We have tried every type of wine almost imaginable, and I can tell you right now, we don't give a crap about what the color of our teeth are. But I'll tell you what, though, I've watched some videos.
All we care about is the taste of the wine.
The taste of the wine.
And these are phenomenal wines.
And again, if you've watched our videos, I'm painfully honest. Okay, and I'm a pragmatic, but I can tell you that Pinot Gris is not my favorite. It's heavy and creamy.
Well,
and it's more of a Chardonnay-y type.
And I will enjoy that one a little bit more after
I
we're done with this video. And you can partake in. I love the Pinot Noir, but if you're not liking the Pinot Gris, then I'll drink that.
I'm not poo-pooing. I'm not poo-pooing. Poo-poo.
Yes.
Poo-poo.
Oh my gosh. So I've been getting to know my students, especially the ones with accommodations for a 504 plan or an IEP plan, depending on like what your disability
You have no
might
idea
be.
what she's talking about.
Whatever. If you're in education, you probably know what I'm talking about. Or if you have a child who has one of these disabilities or needs accommodations, you understand what I'm talking about. There's a wide range of accommodations you have to provide, but I have one student this year where he tends to start to bloviate and go off topic and like on a tangent onto things that are not necessarily school appropriate to talk about. So we were instructed that we speak to the student and say when they start going off in that direction, we say that's a red topic and we're going to come back over to what we are learning about.
What happens if the student has Tourette's?
I have not experienced that yet. So I'm not sure what to
You
do
don't
about
know.
that. Yes, I know what Tourette's is. Some might think that you have Tourette's
You think I do?
because of the amount of swearing that comes out of your mouth. Sometimes you don't even realize it.
She has Tourette's.
It's a miracle that he keeps it under control while we're making these videos.
No, I am not a bad boy. You know, when she's driving to work, let me tell you, she's the cat.
In the memes.
Son of a bitchin' bastard.
This is an adult video, so I can say it.
Stay in your fucking lane, motherfucker!
Why are you driving so slow? Fuck you!
Green means go!
Why are you braking? What the fuck? I'm on the phone with her and I just go, okay.
We all have our downfalls.
Well, traffic is frustrating when you're trying to get to work. And for me, though, when I'm trying
And people that drive like idiots.
there are a lot of idiots down here. There is. There's a lot of people who drive very slowly. You know what I think it is? I think it's the texting. I think people are texting while they're driving.
Oh my gosh, I see people swerving all the time. And I'm like, if I were a cop, I'd pull that person over and they probably would pass a sobriety test. But because they were texting, they're like weaving in and out of in their lane. Now, I will say, being the parent of a minor child who has recently gotten their learners. Oh no, he knows. No.
Take the phone.
No, the phone goes off to the side. You do not touch that phone while you are behind the wheel. He's very good about that.
He's cognizant of that fact.
We are still in the learning phases of driving, so right, there may appear to what looks like a little bit of weaving and a little bit of annoyance to the people behind us. It's like you just, okay, you gotta extend a little bit of patience, and I'm trying to remember that. But most of the people that I get behind that are driving like idiots are not 15-year-olds.
Hey, shout out to whoever hit $1.5 billion in Florida.
Oh,
Shout out to them.
Yeah, man. All the teachers at my school, we were all like, there goes my retirement.
1.5 billion is like, fuck you money. I mean, you can do whatever you want.
Well,
You can literally, I told her we could buy an island and form a country. We can call it
whatever
Joel.
we want.
We call it Joel. The country of Joel. I'm the president.
And we would invite all of our like-minded friends to come live on the island with us.
And you could buy a chunk of land on Joel. Imagine living on Joel.
And we'd be self-sustaining.
We would. We'd grow vegetables, have cows, pigs.
Inevitably, some
chicken.
other country would probably come and try to take
Try to
us
annex
over.
us.
Yeah.
They would try to invade us.
Yeah.
So we'd have to have a military, we'd have a militia, buy lots of weaponry.
But that's a thought for another video.
It
So,
gets me thinking.
do you have anything else you want to share about this Pinot Noir?
No,
I've given this like a stellar 9.5.
Me too.
Maybe even
Me
a
too.
10.
Me too.
I'm
gonna say,
really
honestly,
digging this Pinot Noir. Just gotta put it
we
out
never
there.
ever agree like this, but I will say this honestly, this is probably, I'm going to be ordering this. And I think I ordered the Conde La Terre Pinot
Yes,
Noir.
you did.
I've got it. I'm going to be ordering this. I will definitely be ordering like...
Definitely take advantage. So just to clarify again,
How much is this?
This one was
And we'll post the links in the video.
$28 a bottle, but right now until Friday, August 11th, it is 15% off automatically. No discount needed. No discount code needed. It is $23.80.
Which is a steal, and with the inflation going on,
Oh my gosh!
you're going to watch your pennies.
For the quality of this wine.
And the discounts you save, you can pay for the extra gas.
And
for your car.
I've been talking recently about the different Scout Circle exclusive wines you can only get if you're in the wine club. The prices of the wines are really no different than what you would just buy a la carte if you were to go on to order. And it takes the thought process out of, oh yeah, I got to order some more wine. I ran out of wine or whatever. You can set up the frequency
automatically
for how often you want. You could do 4 bottles, 6 bottles, 12 bottles. You can do all red. You can do all white. You can do a mix of red and white.
Why shop?
And
it just shows up at your
right,
house.
and they change it out month by month of which wines that you get, so you're not always getting the same wines. However, if you do get a wine that you really love, you can go on and you can order that specifically, and you get additional 5% off of that. And that's on top of, if you order 6 bottles, you get 5% off. And also on top of that, if you order 12 bottles, you get 10% off of that. If you order $150 at a time, the shipping is included. Right now, we're still in the summer months, so they do tack on an additional $5 shipping fee because of the extra materials they have to use to keep
Well,
the wine
word to the wise.
insulated and somewhat chilled.
Word to the wise. If you order, I ordered, my shipment came today. My big shipment came today. Make sure you're there the first day because it's really, well, if you're in Florida, maybe the northern states are cooler, but everybody's hot right now.
Yeah.
But make sure you're there the first day. Follow the tracking number very carefully because you don't want that wine to set up and get too hot and get too warm. Because the cooling things work, but I got
Only
them,
for a certain amount of time.
I got them today. It was the first day, and I'm lucky because I was half naked after my run, and the UPS guy came and I was in a towel, so I went to the door. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey Joel, how you doing?" He knows my name,
Uh-huh.
and I had to sign. You mean you signed today?
Well, somebody 21 or over has to be there to sign
I
whenever you
must
have
not
your
look
wine
21.
delivered.
I look 20.
No, they literally just have to have the signature on file
I'm a 20-year-old
to
stud.
say that they did follow the procedures that they were supposed to.
Just say I'm a 20-year-old stud.
Okay. But I also want to add on. So if you join Scout Circle Club this month, you get the 15% off. Applies to your Scout Circle membership, and you will get a code for $20 off your next purchase, your Scout Circle purchase, or what if you order other wines a la carte, you get your 5% off, you get your $20 off. All around, this is an excellent time for you to join Scout and Circle, or Scout and Cellar, I meant.
Scout and
Scout and
Cellar.
Circle. Whether you join the circle, the wine club, or whether you just get on there and you start making some orders, this is an excellent time to get on there to try to get a little bit of discount on the wines that you're ordering.
Because you get multiple discounts on everything.
There's lots of different ways to decrease the cost of the wine, because I know everybody's kind of feeling the pinch a little bit.
Yeah, but look
right
at
now.
store-bought wines. They're almost damn near the same price as this.
And these are way better.
These are
they
way
taste
better
so
for
much
you.
better.
They're way better for you. It's a
Honestly,
healthy
you have
alternative.
to try these wines, but to just understand the difference between this is how wine is supposed to taste.
We are both very health-conscious people.
Yes.
We take supplements and vitamins every day.
We're very
we work
active.
out. We're very active. We walk. We do walks.
And we're conscious about the kind of food that we put into our bodies.
We don't eat fried things. Sometimes we cheat. Thanksgiving, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We'll do a pop-up video.
It's
on
a little more
Thanksgiving.
carbs during Thanksgiving than we normally
We'll-
would take.
I'll
But
eat mashed potatoes and gravy.
yes, a small scoop and a small scoop of stuffing.
But your green bean casserole is going to be
corn
with my fresh
casserole.
green beans.
Yes, I know. By then
I'm
we'll
gonna
have
give you
actual
fresh
fresh green
green
beans.
beans.
Yes.
I can't wait.
All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the video tonight. Let us know if you have any questions about any of these wines or any of the wines that are on the Scout and Cellar site. We are in the process of trying to get some wine tasting events happening for people that are local here in the Orlando area.
And we'll probably do a wine party probably in October
Probably
or November.
October is when it starts to cool off enough where we can actually be outside again.
Well, we have there's a lot of interest.
Yes.
I mean, a year ago we didn't have this interest. We probably have at least 10 couples, 10 to 15 couples that are interested,
Yes.
that want to come to our party. So
It's a great way to sample some of the wines before you order them. And I'm sorry for those people that don't live near
Sunbreak has Mr.
Orlando,
Snow.
but I will also say this too. If you ever order some wine from Scout and Cellar and you open it and you're like, ooh, I really just don't like this, contact customer support. Tell them what your issue is, and most of the time they will either refund your money or they will send you another bottle of something else that maybe you might like better. So it's excellent customer support. They really just want to make sure that you are satisfied and you're happy with the wines that you get.
It's kind of like being forced to refund your customers, isn't it?
Well,
like me. But it's okay.
Either refund it or give you something else to replace it.
Whether I like it or not. But anyways, so here's the deal. As it gets cooler, we're going to do a full-blown wine party.
And then we will move back outside for our
the
wine
garden.
videos.
And when we do our wine party, we were going to do a lot of videos. And if we do a private one, I might do a quick little pop-up video.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
We
post
have
it.
lots of people that have been to our wine parties before that have asked if we would come to their house and do a wine party for them and their friends at their house. And absolutely, we're happy to share this wine with them and get them to experience the difference between clean crafted wine and your store-bought wine.
And it's funny to watch the expression on their faces. They just absolutely love it.
They're like, oh wow, this is really good.
They really do. And if you were here sitting with us right now, you'd be like, I cannot believe this. There is a difference.
A distinct
There
difference.
is a distinct difference. So Anyways, hope you have a great week. Have a great weekend. Stay cool. I don't know where you're at. Maybe northern Wyoming. I'd rather be there right now.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right, bye everybody.
Salut.